Alright lads, so today we are back onto Brainstorm because we did get a lot of news over the last week. News that of course I wasn't able to speak about straight away because I have been ill, still kinda am, but I think I'm well enough now to actually make a video. But recently we did get a new version update 17.4, bringing 2 changes to the game, small things truth be told. But with that we also have other things to talk about that we are going to cover all in today's video. So first up, in the version 17.4 update, we did get limit breaker quest improvements. Specifically, they've now added a ranking system. They've added new icons to show every information regarding the enemies you are up against, and we also do have enemies with different behaviors. And honestly, in regards to that third point, I have no idea what they are referring to. So in terms of the ranking system, the way it does work is that it does display your top percentage. Using this as an example, after any limit breaker quest, whether it's the one currently ongoing right now, because one has started today, or our usual start of the new month limit breaker quest, whenever you do get a new personal best, it will tell you exactly where you are placed in your server ranking. So this one, for example, is stage 16, and they got top 32%. You don't get anything for getting high in a ranking system, it's more so just the flex, which honestly I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. It would be nice to get extra rewards and an extra incentive to push as far as you can, but depending on the rewards that they do give, it could be technically pay to win for those that aren't able to get as far as, you know, the potential wells in this game. For the most part though, it's just a cosmetic. It's just nice to see where you do rank. So I'd like to think of it as a nice addition to the game. And then with that, when you do have a look at your current record for Limit Breaker, you will be able to see going forward your score, how far you did get in each Limit Breaker quest, but also the percentage that you did get. So as of right now, this isn't retroactive. You aren't able to see your percentage for past Limit Breaker quests. So if you were to have a look at your current history right now, it won't show any top percentage, but going forward, every limit breaker quest will have that top percentage, additional information for each new limit breaker quest. And then in terms of the new icons, for example, we do have the shield that is to indicate an enemy has poise. When it is broken, it indicates that your character has poise break. Likewise with iron skin, that's the usual icon. When it's broken, it made you have pierce iron skin, for example. And then I think this one's new. It's like an explosion icon that indicates that the enemy has a damage boost. Don't think you're really going to notice the damage boost effects, but this is what it does like in game. You can see the enemy on the left does have poise and also iron skin, and then the enemy on the right doesn't have any of those, but they do have the damage boost. Now, alongside the changes to limit breaker quests, we are also getting changes to the rank requirements, specifically though to those that are currently not level 50. Previously, the way this system did work is that to get to rank 50, each level would require a specific task. Let's say, for example, use a crystal link in the Con Bonanza quest. In a way, the old rank up system was a way to teach you some parts of the game, but there's also the tutorial that also does teach that nowadays. I still feel like the beginner player experience could be improved upon to teach the players, you know, the full mechanics of the game. But the player rank system, I don't think, did an amazing job at that. And also, after level 50, the player rank system becomes a more traditional player rank system, where every time you spend soul tickets and stamina, you would get EXP and level up with that. So this new change basically makes it so rank 1 to 50 works exactly how rank 50 plus has worked over the last year or two. So for a new account, the way you rank up now is just by playing the game, spending stamina, soul tickets, and you're getting XP. I guess this is more of a streamlined update, because I always did think it was weird that rank 1 to 50 just worked completely different to rank 50 to 300, for example. This now makes it basically the same system. For the most part, none of us are going to really notice that, but I guess for a new account, it's not too bad. And then they also made some changes to the animation exchange screen. More so, the loading times have been improved. Cool to see. Now, since we did get a new limit breaker quest update, with that, we also do have one currently going on right now. It did start this morning, so you can see the new ranking system in effect. We're probably going to do a run at the end of this video. Now, this current limit breaker quest is a beginner's one, so it is 2 minutes. Or sorry, 90 seconds actually. And the enemies themselves shouldn't be that tanky. The whole idea is just for you to go in, go out. And then with that, we don't get the usual amount of rewards. Again, this isn't a normal end of month limit breaker quest, but the orbs are lower than usual. Normally it's 50, even for a small limit breaker quest like this. So it's kind of a shame to see, and you also are only getting 100,000 Transcendence points. It's definitely worth doing. It's only 90 seconds of your time, but would have liked to have seen the Spirit Orb count be doubled here. Now, one thing that we are also seeing, and I think that's a good thing to be fair, is that we're potentially seeing Caleb try and make improvements to the game to make the game better, because right now they are giving us a Limit Breaker Quest questionnaire at the 17th of next month. So it's quite a while away, almost a month away at this point. I believe this is when the next Limit Breaker Quest does end. And yeah, they're just asking for feedback regarding this specific game mode. It's rare for us to see questionnaires on specific game modes. The last time we saw a limit break request questionnaire was when the game mode first came out. And they actually did make some changes to the game mode regarding the feedback that we did give. So I'm trying to be optimistic here. I think this is a good thing. It's nice to see them doing something like this. So any feedback you have in response to the changes or how the game mode has gone over the last year can be made in this particular questionnaire. And hopefully that does result in Limit Break Quest changing for the better. But Limit Break Quest is not the only game mode that changing, because we are also seeing changes to the Guild Quest game mode. So we did speak about this previously in a previous video. So right now they made some changes to the quest difficulty and reward adjustments. Nothing too crazy, but they're basically making it easier for beginner players, newer players to play the game mode. So for example, they've now lowered the requirement for you to tackle hard and very hard. No longer do you need a max Linkso character, for example, for the very hard game modes. And then for those that aren't able to do the nightmare difficulty, if they are doing very hard, for example, they're now getting more orb rewards. They've also added attributes of each typing and also size, so again, those newer players can get access to transcendent material. They've weakened the enemy's attack power for normal, hard, and also very hards. B and C League are seeing some slight changes to the orb rewards. Nothing super crazy, but you'll get like 5 extra orbs now. Ideally, you do want to try and be in A League to get some decent rewards here. If you aren't, you always have gotten bad weekly rewards, but they are technically a little bit better. And then we can see more changes. So in this case, for the normal difficulty, you are getting 10 extra spirit orbs. You're getting more essence scrolls. The red is the thing that are changing here. None of us really play that game mode, so it's fine, or difficulty. Clearing hard used to get you 15 orbs, now you get 35. Very hard gave it 65. It's still staying the same. Would have liked to have seen that go up a little bit. And then with that, again, you're just getting extra links or potions, rainbow links or potions. Also the, attribute scrolls. That's the newest addition that we are seeing here. And then Nightmare did kind of stay the same. I would have loved to again see some orb rewards here be increased. But what was changed for Nightmare is that they did up the links or potions that you did get. Crazy, I know, right? But the main addition, I guess, is the attribute scrolls being added. I mean, I already have plenty of those, but I guess it's a nice addition. It's better than nothing. Just would have loved to have seen the orb rewards increase. At least in this particular news post, I'm not that fussed that they won. It would have been nice, of course, because I think that's one thing we do need to see. But this adjustment to the rewards was always regarding the easier difficulties, making it easier for earlier players more so to get the orb rewards that they might have been missing out on due to the increased difficulty, even for those earlier difficulties, right? Because in regards to changes regarding the nightmare difficulty, this should be the bigger change that we are seeing. We really have to see how it does go. But essentially, they are changing how the extra waves are working. So as stated here, additional extra levels in the extra wave. Now, this is going to sound super crazy, but based on data mines, currently, for the record, we have 5 normal waves, and then we have 4 extra waves. So starting on the 2nd, we are now going to go to 10 extra waves, which does sound absolutely crazy. And in total, I believe this upcoming Guild Quest phase is going to have around 3 billion HP. But I've always had the opinion that I don't mind the GQs having significantly large amount of HP. If the idea is that you aren't supposed to technically beat it and just go as far as you can, I don't dislike that. I've always had a bigger problem with the fact that every Guild Quest phase had different HP pools. Some would have 1 billion, some would have 2. So every new character that came out, you really didn't get to feel how powerful they could potentially be, because if they had a lot of damage, the GQs would have a lot of HP. If they had Frenzy plus 2, the GQs would have less HP. So it kind of meant that over the last 6 or so months, characters' damage output really didn't matter all that much, because whether they had good HP, it just didn't matter. The HP in GQ would be increased. So I'm really hoping with these 10 new extra waves now, which to be fair is a lot of extra waves, never expected 10. I'm really hoping the numbers that we are seeing here are just permanent numbers for every GQ phase, no matter what you are up against. That way, if a character can make it to, let's say, extra wave 7, it's an accomplishment on that character, because they're actually good and not because Caleb wanted them to be good, and that kind of makes sense. Regardless though, I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to glaze it until I see it. So we are getting 10 extra waves starting on the 2nd of March, right? With that though, we are getting adjusted the difficulty of the extra levels in the extra waves. Curious to see what that is going to be. In regards to difficulty, I don't think they mean HP. Again, based on the data mines that we did get, the HP right now in the extra waves aren't super crazy, but that's because there are 10 extra waves. This upcoming GQ phase does have around 3 billion, but in the past we've seen like 2.5 billion, so it's not that big of a jump, but it still is a jump nonetheless. We are getting adjustments to the score rewards. So I don't think we're getting better rewards here, which I think is something that we should be getting. But what we're probably seeing here is that even though there are 10 extra waves being added to the game, you probably don't need to clear all 10 extra waves to get all orb rewards, which for the most part is the main reward everyone should be going for. You know, using right now as an example, you don't need to clear all 4 extra waves to get all the orbs. If you can, good. If not, it's not that big of a deal, unless you're in S-rank guilds. And then the last change is increasing the maximum number of guild quest passes, which is cool. It's nice to see. I think at this point, they should just give us infinite attempts. But I guess more tries is never a bad thing. And then with that, similar to the Limit Breaker game mode, we are also getting a questionnaire specifically for guild quests. So I'm trying to be optimistic here. I think this is a good thing. Will this amount to anything? Hopefully. But it's nice to see them making a big change regarding the guild quest game modes. And if that change isn't good, we can leave direct feedback through this questionnaire. It, of course, will be up to Caleb to respond to that feedback based on the data that we do provide, the feedback that we can provide in this questionnaire. But it is nice to see something like this where a big change is being made. And also, before that even happens, we're seeing Caleb be open for feedback. Like always, when it comes to questionnaires in this game, they do result in good things, but we only ever see them at the anniversary. So in my opinion, it's pretty cool that we are seeing it right now, and hopefully again that can result in some good changes to the Guild Quest game mode, which right now has been the biggest problem in this game. If they can fix the problems in Guild Quest and also Limit Breaker and just make them more enjoyable and more fair, then hopefully with that they can move on to the next new game mode they plan to add, because we should be getting new content later this year, hopefully before the 11th anniversary. But with that said, to wrap up the video, let's do a quick run in this current Limit Breaker quest. Right now, they do want you to use Ichigo in slot number 1. Slot number 2, I believe you do want to use Jushiro. Remember, given how easy this is going to be, having a character like Jushiro is going to be good because he does give recharge to your entire team regardless of their attribute or typing. And that's probably the most important thing for trying to get as far as you can in this particular Limit Breaker quest. And then for slot 3, you likely want to bring Rukia, but I'm bringing Yachiru because why not? Now, I'm not trying to go for a super fast one, but if we can get to wave 20, that's probably my main goal. The question is, though, is my RB broken? It doesn't seem like it. But again, we only have, like, a very short amount of time here. Let's use our 2 there. And Yachiru, I believe, right now is double long stride thanks to the con link. So, pretty excited. Hopefully, we get a speed character at the end of the month. That way, we can use that con link. Or, hopefully, we can use a speed character in general, because they're a really good link to have. And again, I would love to see that con other attributes, but I'm not too sure if that's going to happen. Alright, so with a minute to go, I believe we can get a rainbow badge in here, right? So we want to get stage 20. My RB is already breaking. Oh, I need to fix it. Oh. How did that enemy stay alive? So, have we seen Iron Skin before in Limit Breaker? I'm not tripping, right? I don't believe Iron Skin has been the normal Limit Breaker. So I guess we're kind of starting to see that here with this one. Curious to see if we're going to see it in the actual difficult Limit Breaker quest. I don't think it matters that much, because normally you are going to inflict stat ultimate, especially against the poison enemies. Like every character ever has an increased stat ultimate chance. But I guess it does lower the damage output a bit. But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I've just been out of it for a little bit. Maybe Iron Skin's been the norm. Okay, I can't flash them. Well, for the most part, we got to stage 15. Not even. This is going to count as stage 14. We need to... Oh. Does it count? Oh, that sucks. So, what does that actually put us in the ranking? That's horrible. A silver? I'll do it in my own time, but I'll give you top 14%. I need to fix my controller real quick and maybe improve the team a little bit. But my goal is to try and get the stage 20. That way we can probably get a top 1%, maybe top 5%, and also get the rainbow badge. But I believe stage 14 does get you all the orb rewards, right? I don't think you need to go too far to get everything here. Yeah, you just need to get to stage 9. So overall, some pretty interesting changes coming our way. Hopefully some good changes. I think that's what the game needs right now. We need some good changes to these permanent game modes, Limit Breaker, and also Guild Quests. It's nice to see Keller be a bit open in response to feedback with the 2 questionnaires that we are able to do next month. And at the same time, it's just nice to see them do something. I think right now the game needs changes, and we're finally potentially seeing Keller make changes. Will the changes be good? Only time will tell, but I don't think we can get any worse. So I guess, again, only time will tell. Either way, hope you all enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.